Just coming in 1 minute early just to check that I'm all good, my sound is good, and that you can hear me well. If, oh, good to see some of you in already. Would you just type in your name? Just let me know that you're here. Could you just put in your name? Uh, yeah, so that I know you're in. So delighted to see you have already people in here. Hello, Janelle. Rico. Hello, Rico. Hello, welcome. We'll just wait a little while. I'll start in a minute. Okay, we are going to start live right now. Let's start. Hello, good evening. This is Patricia Zoey, the baby expert. I'm delighted to see many of you already in, even before I start my broadcast. Really nice to see all of you back here tonight. And I'm sure to see a few regulars because I'm talking about a topic that many of you have asked me to talk about tonight. And if you are in, could you just, hello, Gazelle, good to see you back in here. Yes, earlier I saw some other parents in also, Janelle. And yeah, and if you're in, right, just give me a wave, and send me a wave, and even just put in a thumbs up. Okay, I will be very nice, and I can see there are about 10 of you in here. So if you have first time with me, right, first time, okay, can you write first time? And if you're back here again, just say hello, I'm back. Okay, you just type I'm back. Yeah, and it's delighted to see Gazelle's back. You know, we have a few mummies who are back in here as well. And welcome back. Tonight, we're going to talk about a very big topic that is temper tantrum. I'm trying a new mic today. Could you just let me know if you can hear me well? Say, I can hear. Can you type, I can hear if you hear me well? Because I'm using a new mic. I don't know if you can hear me. Could you type I can hear? Oh, Janelle, thank you for watching my replay. I hope you learned quite a lot for Wei Hao. Yes, and I received your message as well. Oh, thank you, Janelle. You can hear? Excellent. How about the other mummies, Gazelle, and other parents who are in here? Could you just type I can hear? So that I know that you're able to hear me well, okay? Because I'm really trying a new mic today, a really nice gift from my mentors. Thank you for indicating you can hear. And if you're in, another favor I want to ask from you is that, some parents say that, oh, they miss my life, they have questions to ask. If you could just share. Okay, I'm also going to share myself. First time I'm going to share because there's too many things for me to handle, but I'm just going to share myself again also tonight. Okay, so um, I'm not sure how to do my own sharing of myself, but I'm just going to just put a share. Okay, so yeah, and I think something like that. Okay, I'm starting a watch party, and so now parents, it's no nice to have you back, and even if you're not a parent, it's still good for you to hear me tonight because you can help other people handle their children better as well. Do we have grandma here tonight? Other nights, some nights I have grandmas in here as well. So do we have a grandma tonight? My phone seems to be lag tonight. Okay, now parents, welcome back, and tonight is delighted. It's a very nice Saturday night, and some of you have already gone back to work, right, after the first phase, and some of you may be just back from work, feeling tired as well in Singapore. I mean, and I know Gazelle is in Philippines, right? Gazelle. Well, yeah, and I know it's been a long day, and I hope you have put your child to bed already so that you can learn a lot more from me tonight. And if your child hasn't gone to bed, is yeah, I usually try to wrap up in an hour, but the last few sessions I tend to go a bit over because parents are so engaging and they have questions, and I do not want to leave any stone unturned. So let's go. Let's get going. Well, tonight, I'm going to talk about this very big topic that many parents are keen. And what's that? Right? You're here to hear about handling toddlers tantrums. And true enough, if your child hasn't reached a toddler age, I still think that it's good for you to know because then you know how to handle it when the time comes. I'm going to explain the psychology of a tantrum, and in there I'll be talking about. I'll first define for you as the tantrum and how to differentiate the different types of tantrums, right, and what causes the tantrums, and that definitely will be helpful to you, right? The better you understand your child, the better you can handle. Okay, so this is my mission. I want to teach parents how to understand their child well so that you have an easy parenting journey. And when your child knows that mommy understands me or daddy understands me, they will be happier as well. And we want them to have a really happy childhood, isn't it? So I'm really appreciative that our parents are such good learner parents here, that you keep learning and learning, and it is really nice. So yeah, and welcome some of you back as well. There's so many machines here for me to handle. Is really so too overwhelming for me. So now I just want to ask parents now, could you just type in the age of the child? In fact, tantrums is very visible, very apparent for children between 1 to 3 years old. And I'll explain to you why as well when I talk about the psychology. But for a start, right, in order for me to again present it myself, more specifically and relevantly to you, I just want to know a gauge of the age of your child. Okay, so all of you joining me, could you just type in by month, okay, the month of your child's age? If your child is 2 years old, 24 months, okay? If your child is 1.5, just type 18 months, okay? Give me the month, the number, okay? Type in the number of your child's age so that I can, address them really appropriately as well, okay? So, yeah, I know Gazelle's baby is 8 weeks, 2 months, right, Gazelle? So could you just type in my phone side? I can't read many of the comments because it's quite hang. So I can only see it from a computer, which is a little bit more delayed. So yeah, okay, yes, we have. I know Janelle is 14 months old. Okay, we're just slightly so about to start. Okay, the expressions. So hopefully, yes, Jacqueline, welcome back. And Janelle, I hope you stay through towards the end because I think I would be answering some of your questions, but about when you message to me, right, about we have as well. And Jacqueline, yes, Julian, right? How's Julian? 28 months, right? Very good. I remember your child's name as well. And yeah, the rest of the parents do type in your child's age so that all of us could see. I'm going to share, okay? Julian's baby is 14 months. Jacqueline is 28 months. And Gazelle's, oh, no. Wow, Gazelle, when you first started joining my live talk, your baby was just about 2 months old. Congratulations. So we've been together for a month already, isn't it? I hope you learned so much in the past few live sessions. And you're back again. Really happy to see you. And we have many other parents who are online here with me as well. And Michelle has a 3 years old. Yes, Michelle. I remember Michelle. And oh, Zafira, 35 months old. Zoe, you're new tonight, isn't it? Or have you been watching my replay as well? I hope you have, because I shared so many tips in my previous live show. Welcome back. Welcome, some of the parents. Wow, good. Now we have older babies joining us. But even if you're like I said, even if your baby is just as young as a 3 months old, Gazelle's 3 months old, I do find that all these understanding about your baby, helps you bond better, help you manage your child better. And this is my mission. I just want to share my all my learnings, my studies, and my knowledge and experience about the 0 to 3 years old to as many parents as I can, so that you can establish a very good firm foundation for your child. Every day I see my parents who have done our early brain development program. Whenever they share about a child, their ability to empathize, their ability to process their day-to-day life, and even when I saw a mother posting today that the child actually says he's just barely like not even two, he's about two, and he told the mother he doesn't want to go to school because I want to stay home to take care of mommy. It's so nice to see that. And I still recall back when the mommy first joined us, we went through some review sessions. We talk a lot about how the child is. So parents who just join me, could you just type in your baby's age by month? Okay, just type in your baby's age by month so that I know the age range of our baby, so that I can really share much more, more useful tips for you. Okay, so yes, and yeah, and I see Dawn's, yeah. Okay, thank you, Gazelle. I really thank you for so much, and you applied to your baby. Oh, good, good, good. I like to see that, and I hope you're seeing that your baby is getting easier, also very easy to manage. The more you understand your baby, the easier it is. Yeah, and this is what I see in our parents who are in our program, and I want to thank you for still joining in. Okay, let's talk about tantrums. Okay, the psychology of tantrums. And before that, right, do you want to hear a story about how the emotions was discovered by neuroscientists? I feel that tonight I just want to break the norm by telling you a real story, a real life story, historical, but this story is very is very I would say is an eye opener to a lot of parents that I have shared before about their child's first 3 years. And I thought today I just want to bring it back for our parents tonight, because actually many of you here have the first encounter with me, right? I just want to share that some people gave me the title, the baby brain as no the baby expert, and I say, okay, very appropriate, and I like it. So I call myself the baby expert, right? After so many years of working with parents with babies and toddlers, but that's really my honor to have that title. But what's more important is parents to understand their babies, what they're thinking, the psychology of the child. So tonight, before I go into all that, right, I just feel that I want to tell you a story. And if you're open to hear this very interesting story about how emotions develop, how they were discovered by neuroscientists, right? Type in story, okay? Can you type story? Then I will come tell you a story, okay? If you are not interested, if someone say, I don't want the story, right? Then you don't type. You type story. Could you type story, right? I want to hear, you want the story, you want to understand how neuroscientists, right, discover emotions, and I'm going to base on that to explain to you, right, to understand your child's psychology. The psychology of tantrum, right, started from there actually. Okay, so every time I do want to come prepared, because y'all take time to listen to me. I also want to come prepared to share, as much as I can. So truly, it's always a delight to be back here to share. So please like and share tonight's session as well. If you could just share, please do share the session, and I'm going to now start, right, of telling you about how emotions come about. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen. If you can see it well, please say okay, slide. Okay, so can you just type in slide? All right. Yeah, Gazelle wants a story. Yes. And I'm going to share with you, right, this background about how emotion was discovered by neuroscientists. Okay. I just to break the norm tonight, I'm going to tell you this guy about before I go into the psychology of tantrums, parents. I just want to share this. Let me just turn this away, okay, and then bring up this. All right. Now, the psychology of. Okay, let me get this up. All right, started from this man. All right, Phineas Gage. Now, parents, Phineas Gage, right? He was actually an American construction railroad, a worker. And then he met an accident, and in 1843, 1840s, okay? And what was the accident? Actually, a rod, okay, an iron rod pierced through his left eye all the way to his frontal lobe, okay, left frontal lobe. And guess what? Ever since that accident, Phineas Gage actually was a different man. Before the accident, Phineas Gage was actually a very, nice gentleman, hardworking. He could manage his day-to-day life, and he was actually a workers' leader. But after this accident, okay, he actually was a different man. He couldn't manage himself. He was actually he became foul mouthed as well. He became a very foul mouthed man, and he couldn't live his life. He couldn't help himself in his daily life, and more importantly, he couldn't manage his emotion. Okay, he became a different man altogether. And neuroscientists actually who were treating him, they actually found that actually the frontal cortex has a great control of has a great control of people's emotion, of his emotion. And then this is where the study of the how what controls emotion starts. It's sad to say many parents see behavior, a child's behavior, right? They punish the child. They try to correct that behavior. And my parents, I always tell parents who are in my program, okay, that please do not punish your child too soon. It's not that I don't believe in sparing the rod, okay? I do believe that spare the rod is spoil the child. But when do you discipline, right? Well, that's another story for another day. But I always tell parents that you will, if you correct the behavior, it's just at that moment, and you correct it with pain, with fear. But if you get the brain right, okay, behavior comes when the brain performs, is well wired, and the brain is well developed, right? You know what, parents, that actually is the construct for future behavior. So that's why I choose to specialize in the 0 to 3 years old brain, because that's a time where the brain is most moldable. Okay, and parents who have heard me before, is actually rather scientific. We're talking about connectivity of the synapses, okay, of the early brain. And the earlier the synapses connect well and in an orderly manner, the better is the you can manage the child in their later part of their lives. So parents, I would say that I have a lot more to share, and tonight, there's so much science, but I just thought I just want to share this interesting story. And if you're finding Phineas Gage has given you a real interesting insight into the science of the brain, can you type in Gage, right? Gage, that you actually like this Gage story, okay? Phineas Gage. Just type in, because parents, actually, why I ask you to type, right? When you type in, it helps you learn better, okay? Whenever you're type in, right, it actually tells me that, hey, you're learning, because you actually hear me, and you actually will apply, just like yourself mentioned just now, right? She learns so much, and she applies it for her baby, and it's a delight for me to be wanting to share even more. Okay, so yes, parents, if you find that Gage story, right, helps you understand the early brain better, right? Yeah, can you type in Gage, Gage, so that I know you are there. And yes, the last time I always say, give me your, put in your thumbs. I know, can you hit the the thumbs up, and also the heart shape, so that I know that you're enjoying my sharing as well. Okay, really nice to see your thumbs up and your heart shape coming in. Okay, just type that in, and just hit that. My son's favorite, whenever I watch, live, he loves me to watch live, because he get the chance to tap press the heart shape and so on. Okay, so it's really fun. Well, I'm coming back to talk about, okay, after you understand Fitness Gauge, right? That's where I'm going to share with you how I further research into the early brain, and why is it so fulfilling for me today to be sharing so much about developing the early brain with parents as well. So I'm going to go to my next slide, okay, which I'm actually going to just talk about this. Now, parents, this slide, right? This picture actually is a very familiar picture for my parents in our program, in our, the early brain program. But it may be new to some of you. So I'm just going to talk about this. Okay, this is a picture of an early brain. All right. Early brain means that the child who is 0 to 3 years old. And in this slide, you see that parents, the back of the brain, let me put it up a bit bigger for you. Okay, yeah. Now, the back of the brain, right, is what I've been talking about. Okay, and in past few live sessions, you might have also heard me say, the back of the brain is what receives the incoming information through sensorial, through the motor activities that I've been sharing and sharing with parents. Please do it. Okay, and if you want to hear more, right, go refer to my previous live sessions, right, and also all my videos I've been sharing ongoing, because parents, the better you understanding the understand this, the more you do it right, you know that you are actually molding this brain for a good foundation for the future. Okay, and the frontal cortex, okay, in our early brain academy, right, what we mean by the frontal cortex is this. Okay, you have to take a look. The frontal cortex actually will output, right, the output of our frontal cortex, if you do well in molding the brain, okay, the frontal cortex will actually produce this part. Oh, I lost track of my slide. Okay, let me come back to this. Yeah. Okay, the frontal cortex will actually be the one that controls attention and all these, goodness, right? 10 traits, I would say, of a well developed brain in later life. But tonight, I'm not just going to talk about one thing, emotion. Okay, emotion traits, because tantrums is an expression of emotion. Parents, tantrum is an expression of emotions. Can you type in emotions, please? Parents, I just want you to be engaged. The more engaged you are, the more I know that you're learning. Okay. Otherwise, you hear me dragging, and I'll try to slow down for you, because as I really have so much to share with you, I can talk really fast. So I want you to make sure that you're following me. Could you just type in emotion? Okay, emotion. Tantrum. Thank you, yes, Gazelle, for the active participation. Other parents, could I ask you to type in the word emotions? Just type in emotions, right? Okay, so that I know that you're listening in. Okay, yeah, and you're following as well. Okay, typing emotions. Now, parents, emotions actually is controlled by where? The frontal cortex. As you heard the story of Phineas Gage just now, and according to neuroscientists, and in fact, Phineas Gage, right, the study of Phineas Gage and his behavior and so on has become so popular in neurology, in neuroscience, and also in the study of psychology. Any one of us who study this area would definitely have come across Phineas Gage. Okay, the how it came about, and it's a very very famous finding, and that actually was the history of this whole writing about what the frontal cortex could do, and of course you have learned from me before the different parts of the brain and what it controls. Okay, so now emotions is actually a part for the frontal cortex. Okay, so now I'm going. Okay, I've done the science with you. Now let me define, right, tantrums. Okay, parents, tantrums can come in the form of frustration. Can come in the form of a child kicking and punching, hitting, biting, some of them. And it can come from expression of anger, and most of the time it comes as an expression of crying loud, screaming, yelling, right? So these are all parents classify as tantrums, but there's different grades of tantrums as well. Okay, it can be all the way to mild tantrums to meltdown. Okay, so parents, the difference between I'm just going to focus on tantrums, but of course meltdown actually and tantrums, right, can be quite distinct. Okay, what's the difference between tantrums and meltdown? Well, let me come back to this, right? Is that, in fact, when we talk about tantrums, okay, tantrums is just a child's expression. And sometimes parents, I hope you understand, the control of tantrums, right? Sometimes it's not in the control of your child. Okay, why is it not? I'm going to explain a little bit deeper. Okay, so bear in mind what I just shared about the emotions, the psychology of the tantrums, right? Okay, now and the frontal cortex. All right, so you have to understand, parents, don't feel too bad if your child happens to have a tantrum, or maybe they but you have to differentiate though, from 0 to 3 years old, right? During the 1 to 3 years old, a tantrum sometimes it is really because of the child's inability to control the emotion. But you also need to gauge, there's another type of tantrum where the child actually throws that tantrum, right, because the child wants to get something out of you. Okay, so you need to be able to differentiate the situation in order to apply the right technique. All right. So you know that if the child is being manipulative, this usually happens with a child who is 3 years old or forward. Okay. So this becomes a manipulative type of a tantrum. Well, we I'm not talking about that. Okay, that requires certain discipline, which is why I like to focus on 0 to 3 years old, because there's so much already that you have to learn to manage. Okay, so parents, when we talk about tantrums, in this context today, I'm talking about, right, let me scope it to 0 to 3 years old. Okay, and where the brain is still growing, still molding, and the frontal cortex, right, is still actually in the process of development. Okay, so I want to tell you that sometimes the tantrums, right, the child doesn't even know and you can't control, because it requires some maturity of the frontal cortex to actually control that tantrum. Okay, so parents, don't punish your child for tantrum. I'm going to teach you how to cope with them later. Okay, so meanwhile, it is really, I want to help you understand tantrums first. I think the better you understand, the better you know why I'm recommending what I recommend later. Okay, so firstly, you need to understand that the back of the brain is what, controls. I mean, what you keep doing the input, proper sensory stimulation, physical activities that I mentioned in all my past live streaming, right? Already tells you, right, the parents, you need to develop that well. Give your child the opportunities. Then we talk about that further develops the frontal cortex work. Okay. In fact, if you look at my brain over here, which you are familiar with as well for parents who are regulars here with me, okay, my brain here says, right, okay, this is a frontal cortex. Okay. So I can't do this on opposite. Okay. This is a frontal cortex. Now, you see, right, draw a line between here. Okay. The frontal cortex, right? What connects the frontal cortex is here, okay? Is here. This is where the motor pathway actually connects the back and the front of the brain, okay? So this I've also illustrated in previous live session. Now, so understanding this is that parents, we must do well, right, in the back of the brain, okay, and also doing the motor pathway. The frontal cortex emotions, right, can actually be developed. Okay, parents, it can be developed. So I hope this little science, right, about the brain helps you, okay, understand. So now the causes of, of a toddler, right? Okay, I have another slide to share with you, talk about the causes. Okay, let me bring that up for you. And yeah, okay, now causes of tantrums. Okay, what are the various causes of tantrums? After understanding what I shared with you, right, about the control of emotions of the frontal cortex, and 0 to 3, I'm talking about 0 to 3 years old, particularly 1 to 3 years old. Okay, parents. So this is in the context of 1 to 3 years old. And in fact, parents, if your child, I think some of you may experience by about 8 to 9 months, right, you already start to see tantrums, right? If you agree with me, right, you say yes. Okay, tell me, right, if you recall, when would be the first time you saw your child having a tantrum? Okay, if you type in, if your child doesn't have tantrum, right, you can say no tantrum, but if you ever seen your child having tantrums, right, can you please type in the first time you ever seen your child having tantrum? Is it at 1 year old, at 8 months, at 9 months? Can you just type in something so that I can see you actively participating in what we're doing here? If I can see you typing your comment, to be nice, so that I can share with other parents as well. Okay, so could you share with me, right, if you ever observe tantrums in your child, right? Any, sometimes the comment come in a bit slow, so I don't see you typing in yet somehow. Okay, Mitri start to see 9 months. You see Mishra having tantrum already. That's very fast. Okay, but parents, bear in mind, tantrums is an expression of emotions. Okay, tantrum is an expression of emotions. So do bear in mind that, okay, it is an expression of emotion. So don't feel too bad. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to cope with it, to understand it. All right. Okay, so how about other parents? Could I see that, just show me, right, when you see your child's first tantrum, oh, teething tantrums. Okay, that I understand, Mitri. That's very understandable, and true enough, I'm going to explain the causes of tantrum, and this teething is one of the cause, actually. Okay, so yeah, don't feel too bad about that, and I believe other parents would have observed this. Okay, and so I'm going to just talk about the causes of tantrums. Okay, the first cause of tantrum. Okay, you would guess it. All right. Actually, the first course and my slide, I'm still fumbling after so many sessions. Do pardon me. I'm really quite not so pro in this. Okay, now your child cannot communicate well. It's a very frustrating age from 1 to 3 years old because your child actually is in that developmental stage, especially between 1 to 2 years old. And some parents say, oh, terrible too. Actually, that is not. It's because your child's emotion is also developing. Okay, and I talk about the frontal cortex, right, which is I think parents have heard me said before that the brain, okay, is not it's not really the the as I said before, right, the actually the child needs time, and the brain is one of the organ that wasn't uh fully developed at birth. Okay, the brain is one of the organs that wasn't, is the only actually organ that wasn't fully developed at birth. That's why we have so much like opportunities that we can do with the early brain. So in fact, I know that because your child cannot communicate well, they're frustrated because they can't tell you how they feel, and yet we adults don't understand them. The second reason, parents, is that we human are born egocentric. We human are born egocentric. Okay, that's why a child is also born egocentric, especially before they learn and they get molded right in their character. Naturally, they are egocentric, and because they're egocentric, you see, the child thinks that I have the right. I want it my way. That's my way, and let them. That's where we parents come in, right, to mold. And so that's why you need to understand the cause, and then you understand how to take care of it afterwards. Okay, in my next big point I'm going to share. So this is next cause, okay, of tantrums. And thirdly, yeah, that's what Mitri just shared, is that the environment. And I want to share this one from Michelle. Michelle actually has a point that she says, you know um not really tantrums, but just like to snatch things from her cousin. Well, this is a behavioral issue which can be molded as well. But I would say that if you look at tantrums, right, we are actually looking at a child venting their emotions. Okay, and it could be the environment that is causing the child, okay, to feel insecure and things like that. But most of the time, an expression of tantrum is through frustration because the child is hungry, tired, they're in pain, or due to some illness, right? And right, parents, you see more tantrums when your child is unwell. So these are all understandable. Okay, so now parents, with this, right, I just want you to understand that this that certain thing is not within your control, nor is it within your child's control. Okay, to handle that tantrums at that point. So I hope by understanding this, you can lessen your frustration as well. Sometimes we parents, right, we let the child, we actually reflect the child's emotion. Do you agree with me, parents? Do you agree with me that many times we actually you actually reflect your child's emotion. Okay, let your child's emotion reflect on us. When they're frustrated, you get frustrated, right? When they feel in pain, when they're in that tantrum, right, you also feel frustrated. Do you feel that way? And then when your husband come back from work, right, oh, I'm so tired because our child has tantrums. Okay, if any of you had this kind of tantrum yourself as well, right, can you type in tantrums? I just have want to see you typing in, right, tantrums. Okay, tantrums. And yeah, get your comments typing in so that I know you're active. And tonight there's something wrong with my phone, I can't really actively see your participation. So do pardon me if I miss out some of your comment. But I just want to ask that you type in your comment, and also can you just show me that your eyes are on me by giving me a put a thumbs up and the heart. Could you just put a thumbs up? Okay, hit the thumbs, the this like button on the right left hand corner. Let me know that you're with me. Okay, and also the heart that coming in. Okay, keep your hearts coming in so that I know you're active, because my phone just keeps circling. I can't really see. Okay, but I just want to ask that you help me do that, and if you could please share. Okay, yeah, thank you. I saw a thumbs coming up. Okay, good. Now parents, next thing I want to share, right, is that another cause. Okay, the fourth cause of tantrum, of course, is actually, parents, inappropriate sensory stimulations. Inappropriate sensory stimulations is that, have you all seen some children in a shopping mall that has been had tantrum before? Okay, if you all have seen, right, can you type shopping mall? Can you type in mall? Okay, and so that I can see your typing in of mall. that you have actually observed or witnessed, tantrums in the mall. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay, excellent. I'm sure I'm going to share a comment in a while. But other parents, could you just type in mall so that I see that, you're actively, hearing me? In the mall, especially, right? Actually, you do tend to see more tantrums. Have you all heard that children screaming and yelling and, fighting to want to have things for themselves? That's one egocentricity. But actually, a lot of time, right, the tantrums act up even more, or sometimes even meltdown in a mall, is also because the child, is actually overwhelmed by the environment. Do you know that? Parents, sometimes we just say, oh, this child is so naughty, the parents couldn't, inconsolable. I come across many times. And I can tell you, parents, because although no, must confess that although I teach parents how to mold the brain so that the children are so easy to manage, such a joy. But I also want to confess that sometimes, right, because I've been seeing so many easy, good children, and sometimes in the mall, when I see parents mishandling or not understanding the child, and in the mall, when I see, parents with children who are inconsolable, right? I feel agitated myself, because it's too noisy, right? And I'm very sensitive to sound, to noise. So yeah, it disturbs me as well. But on the other hand, I feel that if parents like yourself, learners, parents who are willing to learn, who actively participate and apply the things that I teach you, right, the more you understand your child, the better, you can handle your child. You agree with me? You agree with me? You type agree. Okay, you agree with me? You type agree. Okay, truly, you agree with me, right? Type agree. Okay, we want to have powerful session today, right? You agree that the more you know your child, the better parent you are. Okay, you agree this statement, right? You type agree. Okay, I want to see. Tonight my phone is really lag. Okay, so please type in agree. Okay, I'm not seeing enough, of the typing in. So could you type in agree that what I just said, right? The more you as a parent, okay, or auntie and uncle understand a child, okay, the more you find that your child is easy to manage. Okay, and that is really my mission. This is why I'm doing this, because I want to help you understand your child better. And parents who are midtree, who are doing our CIQ program, and a few of our parents, like, who are doing our program already, can tell you that when they manage their child and understand their child better, okay, they actually can manage their children better. All right, and their child is more joyful as well, right? And I know many parents here are actually joyous parents. I know that. So yeah, I want to say that parents, you have to understand your child. So I'm going to go to my last point. Okay, when I talk about inappropriate stimulation, so parents, I just want you to know that inappropriate stimulation, right, can come in many forms. Okay, and of course, the inappropriate stimulation could come from where? The screen, okay? The screen. And I have parents who come back to tell me already, right? And because I teach them, then they will come back and affirm the things that I teach, right? And parents actually do tell me that, Patricia, is very true. The moment we cut down the television, we have less, temper tantrum. The child becomes more focused. Okay, so parents, I hope you learn this. And in fact, right, you know what, to build this control in your child's environment, I know for some parents it requires of you parent to exercise self-control, okay, from your part. I know that. So I just want to encourage you, okay, to tell you that, this 2 years 3 years sacrifice is worth it. Okay, it's worth it because it sets your child for the rest of their life. Okay, so just bear in mind that you need to remove any inappropriate. I'm not just talking about screen. Okay, and I mentioned about the mall. The environment a bit too overwhelming for a child could also cause tantrums, or even meltdown for some children. Okay, so but I won't go into extreme meltdown because that is actually another neurological issue. Okay, but parents, if I'm just going to put this in, if you see a child or a friend's child or even your own child, right, having extreme meltdown often, okay, and I say often, right, it could be something like happening every day or every other day. Do take note, okay, you may need to see the appropriate doctors or experts, right, to actually help you cope with that, because that could lead to future other neurological issue. Okay, and But again, like I said, do look out for things like that. But that's extreme meltdown. Okay, today I'm just going to talk about tantrums, which is normal for every child. Okay, every child would go through that, but it is how extreme and how we parents handle it. So I need you to understand the cause, then we can know how to handle it. Okay, the next cause, which is my fifth point, okay, is actually the need for learning new skills. Surprise, right? The need for learning new skills. Do you know that the more your child learn new skill, the more endorphin? Okay, your parents who are with me, I think last live session, you heard of me talking about endorphin, right? The more endorphin your child, the hormones that your child's the brain secretes in your child, the happier your child is. Okay, so and not only that, don't you know that whenever your child learns new skills, your child actually is more confident, and also when your child learns new skill, you actually sees that your child when you praise your child and all that, that brings contentment. Okay, the more contentment your child has, the calmer they are. All right, so actually the need for new skills. So parents, are you asking us, I'm asking you, right, are you giving your child opportunities to learn new skills without pressure? No pressure. The opportunity that I'm talking about, right, is a natural opportunity. So, are you giving your child the opportunity to learn new skills? Okay. So, truly, parents, I just want you to, well, thank you for that heart, the hearts and all that, and parents, all this I want you to sum up, right? The cause of tantrums and all these, right, all comes with the frontal cortex. Okay, the frontal cortex is fixed, right? Okay, you will see, but then it takes time for you to work on. It's a very holistic, okay, approach to managing. So parents, uh you hear me, right? There's no do not punish your child too early. Okay, do not punish too early. You just need to understand your child's need. Okay, provide that need, right? And you will find that the tantrums will reduce. Okay, and if you feel totally helpless, parents, write to me. Okay, write a comment, write to me personally. Okay, and yeah, I definitely want to help you cope, because parents, one more thing I didn't put in here is also anxiety. Okay, anxiety can cause tantrums as well. So you see, right? Once you understand these causes of tantrums, don't you empathize with the child even more? Than to say, "Ah, yeah, this naughty child, naughty boy, naughty girl, always having tantrums," right? That's what we tend to do as adults. Okay, but parents, when you understand these causes, right, I think it helps you be more forgiving and learn to cope. Okay, so if you are happy so far, what you heard, right? What should I ask you to type? What are you going to type for me? Okay, can you type in, okay, frontal cortex, FC. Okay, just type in FC. Okay, the short form for frontal cortex is FC. All right. So I like to see comments somehow, as a speaker to the computer alone here, right? At 9, like 10, 11 now. It's nice to see our parents typing in something for me to see. It's really, really fun also for me, to see that, hey, our parents are learning and they're happy learning, and that's why they are coming in. Now, parents, I mentioned I'm trying to keep this to 1 hour, so I'm going to really go very quickly into how, okay, what to do as the three C's I'm going to talk about. Okay, so yeah, I see the FC coming in rather slowly, because my system is quite slow in capturing your typing in. But I'm happy to see some of the FCs coming in. FC stands for frontal cortex. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap up, right? The first part is the parents. You must understand that you need to provide, okay, the understand that the frontal cortex is what controls emotion. And so tantrums, right, is the control of frontal cortex. So don't punish your child's behavior. Okay, you punish your behavior, but the frontal cortex, right, cannot process it, right? Actually, you get detrimental, okay, detrimental reaction. But if you I'm going to give you this 3C. Okay, when you follow my 3Cs, you are definitely going to have a happier parenting time with your child. Okay, so if you want to hear the 3C, can you type in 3Cs? Okay, I'm going into my 3Cs now. So I just want to see you type in 3Cs. Okay, there are many parents here who are with me tonight. So I just want to see you all type in 3Cs. Okay, so if you find that you're learning and this session is helpful, I want to encourage you to share. Okay, type share now with your friends. And yeah, and I have my friends also, who are in the watch party. And I must say, I just clicked share tonight, okay? And I want to ask you to type share. And even after the session, you find that what I'm sharing, right, actually can benefit many more parents. Yeah, please share, okay? Now the three C's coming, okay? The more three C's I see, right, the more I may add in a fourth C. Okay, can you please type three C's, okay? I have a three concrete C's, and that sums up, right? I know if you were to watch YouTube, you go to internet, there's a lot of people talking about tantrums, okay? And truly, I mean, I do read about them as well, and of course I do a lot of research about the early brain. And I must say that there's a lot of recommendations. They're all good advice, okay, all good advice. But sometimes parents it's hard for you to put it into practice. So I thought I could just give you three C's. If you remember these three C's well, always put it in your head, right? The three words that I'm going to give you. And if you can apply these three C's well, right, you'll find that you can control, you can manage your child's tantrums better. And when I say tantrums, parents, it's not just about tantrums, it's about their emotions. Don't you want the good emotions, right? Strong emotions from a child. So, yeah, I see, yeah, Jacqueline, Jacqueline typing in three C's. And yeah, other parents, could I just invite you to type in three C's, okay? Three C's, okay? As I will be sharing, you can type in your three C's, and I'm going into the three C's. All right, so let's go. Let me bring up my slide. Now every time I bring up my slide, right, I have a little delay over here. Okay, now three C's. Okay, the first C. What would you think the first C is, right? Well, parents who have heard me before in my TIQ early brain workshop, you probably would have heard me talk about this in boundaries, and this is quite the same thing that I'm going to say, quite similar but a different application, right? Is that parents keep calm. Whenever you see a tantrum, right, you keep calm. Okay, this is where I'm going to share with you some success stories, some parents that I encounter. And I like to share case studies with you because you may encounter, and these are real life stories, and which I think you can connect with as well. Okay, first thing is that parents, when a child, I'm talking about how to handle tantrum at that point. Okay, I'm not talking about how to prevent at this point yet. I'm talking about when a child is having tantrum. And parents, this one, you don't have to be a parent. If you are a friend of another parent, yeah, you can share this with your friends as well. So I hope what you learn will be invaluable, okay, where you can actually spread my teaching with other people. I hope you will spread this because I just, it's my dream and my hope to see a better, future and better life for parents as well. Number one, keep calm. When I say keep calm, is that you see, when a child is going in that tantrum mode, right? Okay, and I mentioned just now that sometimes they can't control the emotions. So all I can say is that you have to keep calm. I have a mother, Julie, actually, who that was many years back. She came to our center, and her daughter actually, right, wasn't able to focus, and because she feels the daughter feels so out of place sometimes. Yeah, thank you for typing calm without and true, yes, keep calm because uh, typing calm, yes, parents, the rest of the parents, please type in calm as I share, okay? Now, I actually told Julie, watch your child, be calm, don't react to it because I have parents who actually react, right? And we are always very reactive human beings, correct? So actually, we do see that some parents do react to the child's tantrum. And how do they react? The parents, of course, act up as well. Okay, no, keep very calm. Okay, and wait out the tantrums. You need to wait out. So what I taught Julie to do is actually, bring her daughter, all right, into our, we have a room called love room, okay, it's our counseling room. We bring her in there, and just be calm, just be there, okay, let the child, and I can hear the child in there crying, but there's a time where it's really one to one, okay, the mother and child, and so this is one thing that you do, okay, don't allow like akong ama come. The more they come, the more stranger come and try to quieten your child. Parents, you notice, right? I don't know if you agree with me. If you agree, right, you can type agree that the more people come and try to calm your child, right, the more tantrum, the louder they become. Have you experienced that? If you have, right, please that agree, right? Agree what I just said. Okay. So if a child is having a tantrum and so on, it's best that you one person handle the child. Okay. Not that you don't want other people, but be calm because you can become, other people may not be trained like you, right? Did not learn what I teach, right? So parents, be calm. Okay. So when you are calm, and just watch your child. Let your child vent it out because tantrum is an expression. Okay, and yeah, thank you, Mitri, for agreeing with me. And tantrum is an expression, okay, of an emotion. That's all. Okay, and your child doesn't know how to tell you how he feels. And actually, when a child is 2 years old, this is also parents who have heard me before in my workshop, is that the child actually is growing in emotion. Okay, that is the time, about one between 20 months to about 2 and the past 2. People call it terrible two, but if the child is well developed, right, actually you don't see terrible two. Many of our parents in my program, actually they do see that, they have a terrific two for their children. Okay, so yeah, you just have to be calm and be there for your child. Okay, and if possible, bring your child to a room that is comfortable, quiet, and let your child cry it out. Okay, after your child cries it out, that's where then you go in. And this is what I shared with Julie. And I said, every time your child behaves like that at home, okay, or anywhere, just do this, right? Be there for your child, bring your child into a room, but you have to be really calm, no raising your voice, trying to be louder than your child. Avoid that as well. Okay. Just be there. And also, move your child from the situation, depending on where your child is. Like I said, in the mall, right? Sometimes when a child, seems like no matter what you do, okay, they just cannot stop crying. Then bring your child to a place, right? Okay, just change their environment and distract them. Okay, but do not reward your child. Parents, do not reward your child. Okay, do not try to reward or have a transaction with your child. That doesn't help. Okay, so be calm and then tackle your child. Okay, so parents, the first thing is to be calm. And even like I said, Julie's case, right? Actually, her daughter was quite a meltdown. Okay, but after she applied what I taught her, she found that her daughter actually was, was better behaved. And in fact, after a month, right, Julie came back such a happy mother. But of course, she learned how to give the child the right environment, using what I taught her in the program, and also the appropriate sensory stimulation activities and the physical activities. And in fact, after that, right, her daughter actually, is a better processing in her emotions. Okay. And now the second C. Okay, the second C I'm going to share with you is, now, parents, yeah, let me bring up my slide, right? The second C is actually communicate. Now, parents, communicate, right, is two ways communication. Okay, you communicate to your child. Can you type in communicate? Parents, can I ask that you type communicate? Okay, communicate up there so that you guys know that you're participating, you're hearing me as well. Can you just type dot communicate? It's two ways. So parents first, right, identify the situation that can cause the tantrums. Okay, so talk to your child before it happens. Now, parents, I'm sure you know that there are certain point, right, that certain thing could trigger your child's tantrums. Okay, sometimes it could be as a certain place or certain point in time in the day or the week, right? Watch out for all these indicators, all these triggers, right, parents? Communicate to your child before the tantrum even happens. Okay, try that. Especially those of you, right? Just now I saw you all have children above 12 months old. Some of you even have a 20, 2 years above children. Actually, they can understand what you say. So before they get into tantrums, right, talk about their emotions. Parents, this is one thing that my TIQ parents are doing very well. They talk to their children about their emotions. Okay, talk to your child about their emotion. Okay, so talk to your child about how you should talk about emotions, and tell your child, right, in this different situation how you feel. Actually, even don't even have to focus on the tantrums, but the more your child understand his own emotion, the more your child even can talk back. Okay, encourage your child to talk back about how they feel. The more you connect this way, parents, you know that you just practice this, you find that the babies, the toddlers tantrums become lesser and lesser. Okay, and in fact, usually after 3 to 4 years old, you shouldn't be seeing too much of a tantrum. If you continue to see that or even meltdowns, it's time that you need to be concerned. Okay, but now before below 3, it's just natural for a child to be having tantrum. And be consistent with our child. Plan a routine. Okay, when I say communicate, right? So talk to your child. Tell your child what the routine you're planning for your child. Okay, for example, okay, we are going to the mall. Okay, but after 1 hour, we are going to go out for a walk. So tell your child what is going to happen. Even in a day to day, right? Okay, at 12 o'clock after lunch, right? Okay, lunch is 12. After 12, 1:30, we're going to play after lunch, and then we're going to sleep. Okay, have a nap at 1:30. So don't fight and all that with your child. Okay, you need to communicate. Parents, can you type in communicate? Okay, communicate two ways. So for the older children who are articulate, right? Okay, encourage your child to talk back, right, about their emotions. But if you are, and I want to encourage you to be consistent. If your child isn't talking yet, or your child isn't expressing themselves yet, then you express it for your child, because the more you teach your child to express themselves, the better they are. Okay, so be consistent, plan a routine, okay, and tell the child ahead, plan ahead. And if you know, parents, that uh, 2 to 4 p.m. is your child's nap time, if you bring your child to a mall that is noisy and all that, very likely you're going to have a tantrum. Okay, so you need to be prepared for that anyway, right? So you need to find ways and to cope with it. So the more you understand it better, and remember to praise your child for good behavior. Let's say if your child has lesser tantrums, you don't use the word tantrum, but tell a child, right, mommy is very happy that you're so happy today. That's what I always tell my son when he was younger, even now when he's older, and I can tell you that it works so well. Whenever we tell our child, right, mommy is happy that angry man. Oh my, Michelle, she must be talking about herself, right? Angry Meme, is it, or her cousin? So it's so nice, right? They can talk about their emotions. That's important. Okay, the child is able to express their emotion, but do tell your child about how you feel too. Okay, and praise your child. So parents, I hope you learn this. Communicate. All right. That's why I asked about age, because I want to know. And in fact, if your child is below 6 months, right, it's just natural when they cry. Don't we try not to label all tantrums and tantrums, but actually there are many reasons for the expression. Okay, so I hope you are learning something. Okay, if you're learning something, right, give me a thumbs up. Okay, hit the thumbs up and the heart shape, so that I know that you're actually enjoying what you're learning. And I'm coming to the third C, which is I'm coming to the end as well. Okay, parents, the third C. Okay, remember this. Be calm. Okay, be very calm, because that's how you handle emotion. When you handle emotion well, oh, Parisa, it's okay. You can join, you can watch my replay. Okay, I know you're looking forward so much to this, and this was actually for you as well, but it's okay, watch my replay. There's a lot in there. Okay, so the next part is that, parents, I'm coming to the last point, okay, which is the last C. But before that, right, I just want to be very lost a bit, so that you'll remember, and do not react. I know sometimes when a child is in tantrums, right, it's the expression. It can be quite overwhelming for us adults as well, especially if you have a tiring day and a difficult time, and when the child starts to be frustrated, screaming and yelling, right, it can be quite hard for us as a adult to manage that. But remember what I say to you today, okay, about what causes that tantrums. Then you will be in better control of yourself as well. Okay, you'll be in better control of, you know, um, your emotions. Okay, so just know that it's not your fault. Okay, it's not your fault. You are doing a great job as a mother or a father. Okay, so don't try yourself for that. Okay, just understand that it's a human nature. And but if you can manage your child's environment better, give a child appropriate stimulation, okay, which is as I said, there are different forms of stimulation. And what we want to do is, of course, parents who have learned stimulation from me and my team, they know that what we teach them is a very scientifically founded way of doing things. Okay, so yeah. And then the thing is that, just not about communication, right? Communicate your thoughts and identify the situation. Okay, teach your child to communicate to you as well. And even if they don't communicate fully, but let a child express and talk about it right after the tantrum. Okay, after the tantrums, communicate. Before the tantrums, also communicate. Teaching a child to express themselves is a very important thing. And my parents who are with me for, this is the advanced level where they learn how to develop expression, thoughts, and emotions. Okay, and the last point is, hello, Gerard. Good to see you. Yeah, and the last point that I'm going to bring out my slides. Okay, let me juggle this. Yes, my last point I'm going to bring in, right, the last C for today is actually care. Okay, so remember, calm, communicate, care. Okay, the last one is care. And these three must be done together, huh? Concurrently, right? You'll find that you manage tantrums better. Now, care, what do I mean by care? Okay, when I say care, right, show that you're concerned about your child's emotion. You see, sometimes we adults, and I observe this, parents, actually, I want to tell you this. I forgot to tell you this story earlier on, okay? I still remember as I was preparing this, I was thinking, when did my son ever had tantrum? Ah? I know I was recalling, I mean, the parents would know what I did with my son and the early brain development. Actually, he hardly had tantrum. But I know I recall, right, one tantrums that I really experienced with my son when he was, I think at about, nearly 2 years old. There's something that he was so helpless. I was so helpless about. Guess what? He always cried, literally cried over spilled milk. Okay, my son, right, when he was about nearly 2, I know he was still walking and all that. He literally always cry over spilled milk. Anything he spilled, could be water, juice, right? He would cry so hard, inconsolable. And I couldn't stop him from crying. That was the only tantrum I can remember about my son. But do I call it tantrums? I don't think so. But it was more like, I think it was really a lot more because he was just trying to express his sense of loss. At that young age, right? He was feeling the sense of like, oh, I lost my milk. I can't. And I said, never mind, mommy, give you another cup, right? He said, no, I only want that. I only want that. So he was like, refused, to hear anything, and he just felt a sense of loss. Right? It happened, right, parents? I mean, if that ever happened to you, right? Can you type that milk? That you ever ever experienced that with your child? You type in milk. Then I know it's not me alone who experienced that before. Okay, so if you had that experience, type in milk. Okay, if you had not, right, could be water, could anything. Type in what triggered your child. Okay, but I want to tell you that you must show a concern, right, about what's bothering your child. So why I'm sharing this about my son, crying over spilled milk, is that at that point when he was, let me see, what do we have? Most of the times, okay, well, milk, spilled milk, and all that, right, parents. You see, at that point when he spilled that milk, okay, and he was really inconsolable. I couldn't help it also. But I felt, at that point, I kept calm, whatever I experienced with you, right? And I didn't even like try to console him, just let him be quiet. Then later, and before and after, communication is very important. Okay. So it's a regular communication with the child managing the emotion. But when I talk about care is when you actually, right, provide your child's environment to know that you care, that you actually care about how he feels. Okay. Now, it is important to let your child know that you actually care about how he feels. And if you find that, you will find that your child really will feel more secure, and he feels that what he's feeling. So how do you do that, right? Well, I give you a few things. Okay, do not ignore the child's tantrum, and not, he needs his, because his needs are not met. If we just walk away, okay, some parents do ask me, oh, when the child's having tantrum, do I walk away? I said, actually, no. I know there's other teaching, right? Some people say just walk away, leave your child alone. And worse still, I also see some parents say, I know some teaching, right, saying, what, bring them to a naughty corner. Parents, I want to say that I don't recommend that. Okay, if you have understood the cause of these tantrums, right? Okay, I can tell you that it is not right to punish the child for trying to express themselves, isn't it? Can you imagine you're trying to express yourself and then you get punished for trying to express your emotions? Okay, it's just because we thought that tantrum is a negative thing. But parents, but on the other hand, just now as I started, I defined also there's another type of tantrum where the child is being manipulative. Okay, then of course that needs another kind of discipline, which is I'm not covering today. Okay, but what I'm talking about is the normal tantrums and help you understand your child. Okay, this is where you need to understand that it is a time to be there. Okay, you may want to step away, because sometimes when a child is in tantrum, right, you may want to just step away, okay, and be there and let him see your know that you're there. He must be able to see you there and know that you're not doing anything until he's quiet. Let him cry it out. You see that? So let him be. But as you see that the cry, mellows, yes, it's time to go. But when you go nearer, if he cries louder, yeah, step away. So your child knows that it's not because he cries, right? You go nearer as well. Okay. But you need to be near enough for him to see you. Do not walk away or leave your child there to cry by himself. It's actually not meeting his needs, his emotional needs. Get it, parents? Okay. So it's important. Stay close enough for your child to see you. All right. That's why you show care. That's why you show love. When I say care, I want to because make it see, but actually what I mean is that when you show care, right, you show love. Okay. Where nothing beats love. okay, for your child, and they must feel it. And just now I already said, right, do not punish your child. When they have a tantrums, it's not meant for punishing, okay? Because when a child can express their emotion, the better. You're developing emotions, okay? And this is a very, very big pillar in our CIQ program, our early brain development program, that is a very big pillar to develop the social emotion. But before I always tell parents, right, before I teach them how to develop this very advanced level, they must work at the back of the brain, which you all heard me earlier. Okay, so parents who are in my program, kudos to you. I know you are doing very well and you're enjoying your child even more right now. And you're still learning. You see, I really appreciate that you're still learning in this session. So my learners parents really appreciate, and those parents who are new to me, well, I appreciate that you're learning too, because right, whether you're in my program or not, I'm sure you all these things are precious to you and also precious to your child. Okay, and the things to do, just wrapping up, okay, just let me sum this up. The things to do, right? Okay, allow your child to learn new skills. Okay, give your child opportunities to learn new skills, because new skills equate to endorphin achievement. Okay, and then when a child learn new skill, right, they get praises, right? This is what you want, and do this, okay, as often as you can. I can tell you that tantrums will diminish. Okay, and number two, okay, um allow your child to express, right? And the right thing to do, I mean, like, the physical thing to do is really give your child enough appropriate sensory stimulations, okay, that actually develop the back of the brain, that has control later on in the frontal cortex. Okay, it's rather scientific, yes, pardon me, but then this is my studies about, and this is what I've been applying in our academy, and this is also the evidence that I see in the success of our parents with their children. So like Cameline and all that, right? They're all behaving so good, well, and the parents are so proud of them. So develop a proper workout regime for your child, physical regime for your child. Develop a regular, stimulation regime for your child, parents. And this is exactly what I teach my parents day to day, and in our mentorship program as well, our coaching program, our parents who are in. So parents, really, when you are in, right, okay, so can you just type, I mean, parents, I know it's late, I'm going to let you go very soon as well, your baby needs you. Can you just type in this last word here, right? Okay, praise. Okay, I want to see y'all say, type in praise, because praise, right, actually secretes endorphin. Okay, can you type in the word praise? All right, could I see some positive words here? Okay, praise. Okay, when you praise, okay, you secretes endorphin. The more the child gets praised, right? Well, of course, when I say praise, there's another lesson I teach our parents, okay, about praise. Thank you for typing in praise. Yes, I like to see more praise. Can you just type in praise? Participation. Okay, your participations, right, tells me that, hey, you're learning. Okay, you're learning. Praise is what I mean by, when you show your care, and that's just I mentioned already. So do these three C's, parents. I hope you, if you haven't taken down, please rewatch the replay, because there's so much I shared today, right, parents? I know. And if something that I don't cover and you really want to know relating to tantrums, right, send me send me a note, write to me, so that I can, even address it with you. Okay. And some parents from my program, they have direct access to me and my team as well. So that's good. We are always in touch to ensure that your child has the best environment, and also that you can become a really a chill parent as well. So this is what we really want to see. Okay, so parents, I really, yeah, Farizat, you will be watching it. I know, right? Yes, thank you. And other parents too, I just wanted you to type in praise, so that you remember, okay, that before tantrum starts, you have to find the environment that is praiseworthy, okay, give a child new skills and develop that. And even after the tantrums, right, when your child learns to cope with it, right, you deserve a praise too, okay? And when you praise your child, right, it means that you have done a good job. That's why, your child has done something praiseworthy, and you also have done it well. So, parents, my really, my word to you is that, um, before I go, do not be too hard on yourself. Okay, do not be too hard on yourself. I just is really, I from my heart, is that I come across so many parents. I can tell you that what I share with you, right? I've seen the worst. I you know what was the worst meltdown tantrums I've seen? Okay, is that a parent came to me, right, and in front of me, I see the child, right, running to hit against the wall. Okay, and I tell you what, that caused me to, I felt the pain of the parents. I felt the pain too, because I love their children too, and that's where, it's very painful. And of course, these parents now learn how to cope, right? We see the child, a different child today. Okay, but that was the worst, tantrums and, expression, even meltdowns, right in front of my eyes. But, parents, when our parents learn, okay, apply the three C's. I hope I've broken, and I've compacted and, taught you in an easy way. Remember the three C's whenever you have to cope with tantrums. Okay, and my word to you as a parent is that do not be too hard on yourself. Okay, sometimes parents, I know, even the parent with the child, right? We met down earlier when I talked about Julie, and in fact, another mother earlier on, she now, this mommy is not with us today, but she would join me in our earlier live session where, her son earlier on, right? They go on the rocking in the mall. They have this automated car when you put coins in there. Every time he goes in there, he wouldn't want to come down. Again, tantrum, and it wouldn't come down. But I thought, Jolene, right? Okay, exactly these three C's to apply. You know, and guess what? Today the boy is so obedient and so easy to manage, and she's such a happy mom as well. Okay, so parents, there's so much, and I said I don't like to share opinion all the time. This is not an opinion. This is really backed by, neuroscience, understanding about a child. So you understand, right, the cost. You understand how to apply to the cope with it. And lastly, I just want to leave my word to you as a mother or a father, is that do not be too hard on yourself. Okay, don't beat yourself too hard, because I see parents who say, "What's wrong with me? How come I cannot?" Parents get frustrated when they see their child's frustration. A lot of time is because they ask themselves, where have I failed? Where have I not done well? And a lot of times you take upon yourself. But I want to tell your parents, right, after hearing me, you know that it is not something that you can control sometimes, but you can build the environment. It's within your control to build the environment. It's within your control to put in, right, get the right input in the brain. That is within your control. But the temper tantrum or any kind of tantrum, right, is not within your control. Okay, it's the control of the frontal cortex. And to get the frontal cortex to work well, you can control by developing the brain well. Okay, so parents, I hope you hear my word. So don't be too hard on yourself. Okay, you will do well. Okay, because you are a learner parent, you will do well. So don't take it personally when your child has a tantrum. Okay, so I'm going to say good night to you. And before we go, as usual, right, parents, can I see your joy, joy, joy? Keep typing in. Can, if you have learned, right, can I see you typing in your joy, joy? So that we can all go tonight with great joy in our heart. Okay, do not be hard on yourself. Can I see your type joy, joy? And this is how we say good night. Yeah, and I don't like to say goodbye. From a very young child, I really dislike saying that. Okay, but I want to see you say type joy. Okay, can I see? I have 17 pairs of eyes. Can I see, all the joy is coming in? Can you type joy? And then that's how we say good night, right? Usually. So, yeah, type in joy, okay? If you have learned so much and you're happy, right? Type in joy, parents. We just type in joy. I'd like to see you typing in joy, okay? Yeah, can I see more joy coming in? Tonight, somehow my system is so slow. But yeah, do type in joy. Type in joy. Okay, the more joy I see, right, the more joy it brings me as well to share with you. So, yeah, do type in joy, and I want to see, that you are actually happy learning. Okay, and the more joy you have, the more joy your child has. Okay. Yeah. Please type in your joy, and I'm happy to see that as well. So, yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, Krishma, thank you for joining us today as well, and many parents as well for being here with me tonight. So, I'm going to wish you a very good night. Sleep well, and I will see you on next Tuesday, 9:30. Okay. Please, after my live session, you find it helpful, please like and share with your friends. Okay, and in fact, very soon I'll be launching my live webinar to share with you if you're interested to know more about, the program that we do in our academy. Okay, do look out. And if you're interested, also send me a personal note, right, to express your keenness, definitely. And I will have my colleague to get in touch with you as well for parents who are interested. So, yeah, I'm going to say good night to you. And yeah, I will look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. All right. So good night to everyone. I'll see you again. Okay, so keep well. Okay, so there we go. Good night.